全に向こうの間合い懐に飛び込まなければ。
かよは危険ではさばききれぬ。
その必要はありません。一瞬でも止められれば飛び込める。イーベル殿、ご無事で何よりです。
何をしらじらしい。自分で蹴り飛ばしておいて。
So you need to let me know if I'm alone here. I felt like episode 11 of Reborn to Master the Blade was better than like the last 3 to 5 episodes that we've gotten. I don't know what it was about this episode. It might have been this Lord Evil guy, you know, our Arc Lord dude. It might have been the different funny moments here. It might have been the gaslighting that took place. I don't know exactly what it was. I can't really put my finger on it. I'm going to talk about the different things that I think it might be. But I just felt like this episode was exponentially better and more enjoyable. And I was actually, I laughed multiple times this episode. And that hasn't really happened, the last 3 or 5 episodes. I just feel like the show has been really dry. And it's kind of, lost its way a little bit. But I felt like this episode, really brought it back for me. And that's a good thing because we're only have this episode and then one more. And, we're pretty much done with the story, at least in the meantime. Unless the episode or unless the anime gets renewed for a season 2. But let me talk about everything that happened here. But right off the gate, though, if you happen to click off, just know I really like this episode quite a bit. I would even dare to say 8.8, on a scale of 10, 8.5 out of 10. Really, really enjoyable episode. And I was actually surprised by how enjoyable it was. So episode really picks up where we got left off on last week by meeting, by continuing the fight with Lord Evil. I liked him from the beginning just because he seemed like the epitome of evil. He's evil, but then to the 10th degree, and then he's a kid, so it makes it even more so because kids are very animated and stuff. So we learned that the Highlanders had laid a trap for the Steelblood front. They've been after them. They know what they've been doing, so they laid a trap with them about this whole entire what did they call it? An event or basically they were going to be assigning a new Hyrule Menace. They were having an event for that. That was a trap for them. Then we got the fight where, Evil was taking on Inglis. He put up a barrier. She punked him. She was gaslighting him, a lot. She was like, come on, I see your barrier, dude. Are you a whip? Put up the barrier in one spot and I'll hit that spot. And she gaslit the F out of him. And he ended up being like, I'm not a whip. And she still, she embarrassed him in that moment by the command of the king to capture him, not kill him, of course. She hit it so hard that she launched Homeboy she launched him through the roof and across everywhere, to where later on in the episode they were asked where he's at, and she's like, I actually don't know. And I thought that was just that was hilarious, especially because she's just oops. And that whole scene I thought was really, really funny. During right after that moment, I literally wrote down the start of this episode was better than the whole last 2 episodes. Then we got the actual introduction to what the episode was called, and it was called "The Squire is Peerless," which just basically means that Inglis has no peer, has no other person who is very similar to her. Then she dragged Ronnie to the front lines. I thought that whole thing was funny. I thought the flying maid was funny. I like how everyone was looking at her as the flying maid. And then she basically instigated a fight with the leader of the Steelblood front because he recognized nobody else could take this maid. He even called her a beautiful rose that has thorns that could be poisonous. And then she admitted to him that she's been getting stronger and she's going to test her strength right now. And he was like, so I'm a test subject? And she was like, well, yeah, basically. So I thought that was funny. Then her classmates were talking crap about her. And I thought that whole entire scene was really, really funny. They were basically talking crap about the girl who shall not be named. And she ended up sneezing. And I thought that was hilarious, especially because it flashed to the leader of the Steelblood front, and he was just like, "The hell!" So that was really funny. And then the fight ensued between them. I thought the fight was pretty good between them two. We got to see flashes of brilliance with the Steelblood front leader. Again, it brought up questions. Who is he? Is he one of her descendants? He can manipulate mana or ether in a way that nobody else can. The Arc Lord kid was very surprised at how Inglis was manipulating ether and mana, and the leader of the Steelblood front is doing it the same way. So it's like, okay, where does he really descend from? Did he descend from the Highlanders? He's like trying to get revenge on him. Where did he come from? Because he just didn't pick up these things, like, oh, somebody spoke to him and he said he learned it from somebody. So who is he a descendant from? Is he like Inglis's descendant, like, here, or all the Highlanders? Like, so we need more context there, and I just don't know if we're gonna get that, but it led to more questions of like, okay, where does this guy really come from? His mana manipulation is very similar to Inglis. She's definitely more powerful, and like, if we were just put like an HP bar, I should say, if you were to put an SP bar, like a special bar, I would say she probably has more capacity than him. But the move pool that he has is like, he has 8 moves compared to her 2 or 3 moves. So he has more things to pull from to really throw her for a loop, like the ether sword that he created and stuff that she's just simply not able to do yet. So they had a really good fight. I really enjoyed that. Then the Arc Lord kid, Lord Evil, jumped out the sky, and I love, again, another really funny scene, because we had Inglis say, "Oh, I'm so glad you're safe." And he's like, "What the hell you mean? You kicked me, dude." And he's like, my safety was threatened because of you. So that whole exchange was funny. And then the leader of the Steelblood front ends up using that red-haired girl, the Hyrule Menace. He ends up turning her into a weapon. And then the episode ends with a Prismer, which is those Menace Beast, or the Magic Sight Beast, or whatever they're called. Apparently, because the 3 people, Leon, whatever the blue-haired kid's name is, and the principal, they put their mana together into... what's her name again? What's that Hyrule Menace's name? Little cat girl. I can't remember her name. It's not important. But they put it into her, and she basically summons a Magic Sight Beast that's a Prismer. And, the thing is about to wreck the country, and this has Inglis ending very excited to go and fight it. So, really good episode overall. Probably, like I said, one of the more enjoyable episodes of the season so far, for sure. I would say if I were to rank all 11 episodes, this would probably be like the second or third best episode. I think the first episode was really, really good. I think the first episode was actually the best episode of the season. And then I would say this one's probably the second best episode, maybe the third, if I were to really go back and look at all of them again. But overall, really good episode. Really enjoyed it. I thought this really nailed it out the park. And I'm glad that it did, because we're about to end. So, it kind of took a nosedive, and I'm liking that it kind of went back up a little bit from an enjoyability factor, because if it didn't, it'd be a really sourpuss end of the season. So regardless, let me know what you guys think about this episode in the comments below. Let me know what I missed. Let me know any specific point that really stood out to you. And let me know if you feel the same way, or if you're like, yeah, this episode still didn't do it for me, or I skipped it, or whatever. Let me know in the comments. If you have nothing to say, drop just an emoji down there. Anytime you guys engage with the video, it makes the video do better. So I would definitely appreciate it. All right, see you guys in the next one. Peace.